Why isn't there a glass asset? There is in the Essentials pack, actually. In the Essentials, there is a window that you can paint. The thing about opacity is it's very complex, so at some point I'm sure we'll get it, but if you think about it, like, the inside of this stuff isn't being rendered, so like it just doesn't look like what you think it would look like if they made it transparent. So that's part of the problem. As an example, would you rather have 1,500 objects and opacity or 3,000 objects? And I think we'd all choose 3,000 objects, because if you had to render twice as many sides, you'd have to render the inside of this too. Anyway, I'm sure they're working on opacity, but it's probably a ways out. And for now, we've got this really cool text opacity, which works really well. So at least we have something. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you could just do this. If you did alpha equals £50 and then type in a minus symbol, you get this guy. And the reason we don't like this one is because the edges are frayed, it's awful, but you can paint it whatever color it is. So you could paint it orange, you could paint it red, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? The problem is, look at this giant bounding box. You can't snap this together or use it in any sort of really good way, which is why I really encourage learning the hex code, because hex code is really quite simple. So if you take mark equals pound, the first two values are red, and the values range between 0 and 16, and where it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, where F is like the equivalent to our 10. So it's just a different counting system. And so if you think 0, 0 is the smallest, F, F is the highest, so 0, F would be, then you go, F0, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, F9, FA, FB, FC, FD, FE, and FF is how you get to 100%. So anyway, if we wanted to talk about the red value, we'd say, let's add A0, or just to make it seem easier to read, AA. For our red value, we'll add some green. No, I want it to be more purplish. So we'll go with like a 20 in the green, so it's brighter, but not super bright. And then for our blue, we want it to be more blue than red. So we'll go with a CC. And then for our opacity, we'll go with a lightly higher than the slime. So we'll go with 80. And then close that off and then type a tab. And now we've got ourselves kind of a magenta opacity window. So anyway, that's how these values work. It's pretty easy to use. And if you use the Essentials bundle, there is one that does what you want it to do. So if we go to search Vidyuu and we go to any of these Vidyuu asset packs, we'll just click info, 3-dot icon, and import world. And you're going to see this gets imported down below. I'm going to go ahead and stop the world for a second. And so over in the Windows section right here, we'll see this appear in just a moment. We have quite a few different window options for you to choose from, but one of my favorites allows you to paint it, which is called the paintable window right here. Paintable mark window. It's notable because when it's not painted, it cycles through the hues. So you'll see it's currently cycling through, or actually I have to hit play world. So then if I hit play, you'll see that this is going to cycle through the hues. So you can see it's kind of changing there. But if I grab a color like red and I paint it, you'll see it's now painted red. I can also select any other color. So like this kind of tan yellow, we can go with this kind of brownish red, and then we could go maybe more of a dark brown. There you go. And if we wanted to go blue, there's blue, and so on. And so all this script is doing is it's calculating the math for you. So all that math I just did manually in my head earlier, it does that for you on this script. So painted mark window, it's pretty cool. Definitely love that. But what I really wanted to show here was this right here. This guy is fantastic. So you can go to this in the published version of the world, or if you have your own copy. And what this does is it allows you to create whatever color you want. So you just slide this around, create the color that you want. You can apply opacity, however opaque you want it to be. So you can really fine tune what is the color you want. And when you're done, it tells you the hex code right here. And so there's two things you can do with this window. Number one, you can just leave it in your worlds and people can make their own windows, and maybe they want a giant white window that no one can see through. You can slightly see through it. You can completely see through it. Whatever you want to do, it's all possible. Or if you just want to use this to figure out what is the color code that you want to use for your window, this tells you the color code. So super useful device here.